Guys, I gotta say, being a content creator for a living is a pretty cool job, especially when, like me, you do it with video games. I literally get to play and cover video games for my job. It is fun, and I get a lot of freedom as to what I want to post and when I want to post it. However, occasionally something happens where I feel like I've lost that freedom, and that is this behind me. I was in bed with the lights off, listening to a podcast. It is currently midnight on a Thursday night into Friday morning, and I got a couple messages saying Abyss 1 is live in the game. So if you don't know, this is the new guild boss. It's the new hardest difficulty of the Drake. It is looking to be tremendously difficult content. I did a live stream of it a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I think, when it went live on Forerunner, but this was not in the patch notes at all. This is very, very, very unexpected, and this is like the biggest content drop we could imagine right now. I mean, besides, we are anticipating some kind of roguelite monthly cycling tower or ladder, something like that, which I do believe probably will be more like the anniversary or the fall. This is the big content drop we've been expecting. Abyss 1 of the Drake. Sarion Grimscale is already live in game. We're here on Global. This is my main account. This is my Fastidious account, right? You can see it right here. It's live. It was not in the patch notes, so we'll break it down really quick. You can definitely go check out that stream. I don't want this video to be too long. Before we do, I want to tell you, there are a couple things whenever there are patch notes, I don't understand why they don't do this, because more information is only going to lead to more hype. So I'm not even talking about transparency or anything. I'm just saying consistently we get updates in this game, and the patch notes, the update preview is usually like very broad, and then we get an update announcement with patch notes, and it seems really specific, right? And it's very well detailed and organized. Or it's very detailed and it is very well organized, but consistently, like I think every update I can ever remember, there's something they didn't tell us about that shows up. So one thing I expected, I think I definitely mentioned on stream, but I don't know if I mentioned it in the video I posted earlier. Usually when they do a hero rework or a hero buff, or a nerf, but really like any form of rework, they always do a hero reset event. So you might see this and get kind of hyped up and be like, oh my God, I can reset. For me, it's like I've got full skill ups into my Calypso. I could reset her. I wouldn't use it on that, right? It'd be like you want to get some soul stones back or something. But I'm just example off the top of my head, right? However, if you click, it's just for Dirtsa. So you might be thinking, oh, why would I reset Dirtsa? They just buffed him. Well, what this is actually for is maybe you never built Dirtsa because you thought he sucked. Now you can essentially build him for free. You can build him, and if you don't like it, then you can reset him once, and then you get all your materials back. So this is the kind of thing with an update that you expect them, I didn't see in the patch notes, and I'm like, the Dirtsa buff is coming. There's going to be a Dirtsa reset event, right? There's got to be. However, dropping like the biggest piece of content of the year so far without mentioning in the patch notes is kind of insane. So we will break it down really quick. Before I do, I feel like we've got to at least talk about it. Maybe this was a mistake. Like, how do you drop a piece of content this big without teasing it at all? It was a big deal when it came to Forerunner, but then Global obviously is how they make all their money. That's the bread and butter of the game. And then it just like shows up. Maybe they're going for the surprise factor. I mean, it got me out of bed, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's talk about it, though. So I fought this boss for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours a couple weeks ago. Definitely go check out that stream. I think a lot of people did watch it, especially like as a VOD after I finished, because I tried to keep it short. It's supremely difficult. I think I'll do a bit better on my account, which hopefully we'll do tomorrow, or I guess when you're seeing this today or the day after. We'll do it very soon, seeing how high I can push it. But it is just like you need so much healing and so much DPS, and there's not that much more to it. It's basically like bring as much healing and as much damage reduction. That's kind of the support thing. Then bring like inspiration or some kind of penetration to boost your damage, and then bring really good damage dealers. So like bring an A5 Kagiri or A3 plus Wukong. I have neither of those, by the way. I just have A0 for everything. So maybe it's going to hurt me there. But I'll take you through the boss. Let's call it like 1 minute, 2 minutes tops. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just still gathering my thoughts. You can see he's got these different modes. It all comes from this thing, Unnatural Mutation. So he has the Ancient Bloodline mode. In this one, you need to use physical DPS. He starts in this mode, and then he switches to the Nightmare's Revenge mode. and then he is going to be in a mode where you need magic DPS, and physical damage does like nothing, and it really does nothing. So when he's in physical mode, Ancient Bloodline, magic damage is literally 10 damage. Not like 10% of what it would have been. It's 10 ticks of damage, so it's nothing, right? You know, so when you could have been doing 1,000,000 damage per hit, now you're doing 10. And it's the same thing, the inverse here. When it's Nightmare's Revenge mode, now you need to use magic damage. If you try to use physical, it's literally 10 ticks. True damage does seem to work to a decent extent. But yeah, you got to kind of pick and choose. It was really difficult. You can go watch that stream. It was really difficult. I think we saw that at like 11K per rune. And I think the best on Forerunner, at least when I checked a couple weeks ago, was like 26 or 28K. So people weren't even getting halfway yet. Maybe now they are, but not even halfway to the top chest with one rune. And there's not so much more nuance to it. I mean, if you go through it here, right? Punishing Blow. This is just kind of a qualification saying just keeping you from cycling too much. The redeployment time is just vastly increased. And then here, it's just like damage to all the targets, right? Targets the hero with the highest HP and deals massive damage. Each phase, he increases his attack and penetration, so more damage. Then there's the shield thing. When you break the shield, he goes to weakened state. That's just like normal Guild Boss 1. Then full screen AoE true damage based off of max HP. And a new really nasty damage over time effect. Continuous damage to the target and adjacent units and reduces healing that they can receive. Here you go. Ancient Bloodline. It's an Infernal Strike. Strikes one time with charged particles. Damage, damage, damage. Heal reduction, heal reduction, heal reduction. Plus you get stunned. And that's kind of it. And nothing can be dispelled. Nothing can be cleansed. So there's not so much nuance to this. I have to say, I think some people are going to be really excited. It's already live on Global. Personally, I'm not. I was hoping they were going to take their time on Forerunner and on test server to work it out and maybe make it a bit more interesting. I welcome the challenging content, but unless there's something I'm missing, and frankly, everyone else I've talked to is also missing, this is just like, can you deal a lot of damage and also can you heal your guys so they don't die and then good luck? You know, like with the Semra or Apocalypse, you know, in the Apocalypse stages with Guild Boss 2, it's like, okay, we got to find this nice team comp balance where we're bringing our reductions. You need some crowd control. You need some cleansing. You need buff dispel. You need balances of different damage. You need different ranges on your healers. This has a little bit of that, but not all those cool nuances and the cool phases. It's just kind of like, this time do big damage magic. This time do big damage physical and make sure you don't die. You can deploy 10 units, which is kind of cool. We can end the fight. If you don't believe me, like, it is live, right? You can see it here. I can do the play test. I already used my runes for today, and it's, you know, I don't have the energy to try this now, but you can just get a sense. I'll let this run in the background, I guess. We'll just put Wukong. He can solo it. This will be my sick run. It will last all of 2 seconds, but you can at least just get the visual behind me while I finish my thoughts. The thing... this is kind of important, so I hope you guys haven't tuned out of the video yet. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments. But I think something a lot of people, at least maybe it's too much. What am I trying to say? Maybe I'm inferring too much, or it's too much guesswork on my end. But because they didn't change anything, right? Essentially, he's just like, does a lot of damage, can do stuns and damage over time that can't be cleansed. You need to bring some damage reduction, bring some healing, and just try to counteract this. And that's all the nuance to the stage that I can see. I feel like this is lining up that we need to have new heroes coming that just have more damage or can switch between magic and physical, but not like the way that Falsia does it, where she's just alternating, but maybe there's a manual way to do it. Like, I really do expect that to be coming. I think one of the next 2 limiteds likely is going to be some kind of solution to Abyss 1. So I actually think the fact that this already dropped without much changing, of course it could already still be like reworked or buffed or nerfed or whatever. This stage could be, you know, they can figure that out on the fly. But because it's already showing up live on Global, you know, their big moneymaker server in this, you know, version, in this incarnation, whatever you want to call it, this initial launch of Abyss 1 of Sarion Grimscale, it makes me think we just don't have enough right now in the game. People with the most god tier gear on test server and Forerunner tried this thing, and I didn't see people breaking like 30K. So it's not even getting you halfway to the top chest. So it just makes me think, like, all right, so it's like, you know, people were beating APOC 2, right? People were beating Guild Boss 2, Titanic Ruins, before Sun Wukong. But for a lot of people, they just couldn't do it. In comes Sun Wukong, and it's just like stupid damage. Or in comes Kagiri, and it's just, there you go. Or, okay, and now you need Diao Chen. They kind of just started giving us the solutions. I feel like you would be... I think it'd be pretty smart to think, or at least expect, or at least plan for that to be coming, right? We should be at this point between 3 and 5 weeks away from the next limited banner. Will that be an Abyss 1 solution, or is it the one after, or is it the anniversary? I just think if Abyss 1 stays the way it is, you know, you'll see it tomorrow, the next day, and that's how we'll conclude the video. We'll make a plan together, and you guys can let me know in the comments when I should be streaming this. But, you know, if you take like God tier gear, it's just probably still not going to cut it. You know, at least where it is right now. So I'll just show you, like, granted, the account I was on, shout out to Arcturus, was probably slightly worse than my account, but some still really, really good stuff. But you can see, like, a piece like this, it's like best piece on my account. There were people that had gear, a lot of gear like this, maybe not exactly this good, but many pieces nearly this good. It doesn't get better, right? There's not more. There aren't other sets. You can't get meta-er than this. You can't get more meta than like an A5 Wukong, which people were using, or an A5 Kagiri for single target, or an A3 or A5 Soul Cadence, and still people couldn't do it. So the only thing I can think of is like a lot of new gear is going to have to come, or, you know, maybe more slots for gear, or some other way to power ourselves up, or more realistically, more likely, based on what we've seen in the game so far, some new heroes that are just busted out of control for this new content. So imagine if, you know, the next limited after is like a Sun Wukong, but has a toggle, like a special button, or maybe it's the ultimate where you can switch forms between magic and physical. Like, I really think that could be coming. We have Falsia, who does magic and physical damage, but you can't control it. So she's just gonna kind of be half potential on both modes. So she's just kind of gonna be a fart, as much as I see it. You'd be better off cycling her out or something like that. But if they had Falsia with the switching button, or if they're going to buff Falsia and do the switch button and rerun her, like, then all of a sudden you've got something. I don't think they would do that. I think they'd want to sell us something new or motivate us with something new. But yeah, I've rambled on too long. I was very tired. I was half asleep. But the point I'm trying to make is I do believe a new solution to this is coming. So to wrap it up, I haven't done my Should You Summons yet for this video, but for this week. I haven't made the Should You Summon video yet this week, because clearly I think you should not summon. Also, the special banner is not till Sunday, so that video will come out tomorrow. But I already was going to say, I already had the thumbnail in my head. It was just going to say, do not summon. Now that Abyss 1 is here, holy crap, do not summon. I think, like, especially if you're like late and especially endgame, it's like you need to be thinking, all right, what's the next thing coming that is going to help us solve this? Because I think that's the trend we're on, for better or for worse. Otherwise, you're just going to have people that are... Otherwise, I'll tell you, this is what they could do. They could give us a third rune, because people could clearly get to the point where they could do this in 2 once we perfect it, and then you can do Abyss 1 and 2, you know, 30K each, and then do... Even if it took a while, that'd be something to aspire towards. 60K just feels astronomically out of reach, but they could do this in 2 and this in 1. So maybe bump that up to 3 attempts a day. That'd be actually really cool. Or we're gonna have to have new stuff, right? So that's gonna have to be a new kind of artifact, or like a new gear slot, so like 1 extra piece, or a whole new set, something like that. I honestly don't know. I won't waste any more of your time, but I felt like as soon as this happened, I had to speak to it. Pretty crazy stuff. I mean, I don't think I've ever played a game where they've had this big of an unannounced drop. Like, we had full patch notes. I know, because I broke it down 4 hours ago when I filmed that video. We had full patch notes on this stuff, and somehow they forgot to mention that the biggest thing, most anticipated thing so far of the year was going to be included. But here it is, Abyss 1. Wow. All right, guys, so to wrap up, do you want me to stream this ASAP? Do you mind if I do it on Saturday? If I do stream it, is there like a preference to how I should do it? Would you rather see it on YouTube or Twitch? Would you rather just see it as a video and not a stream at all? If you have any specific thoughts on that, let me know below. Otherwise, just let me know what you think about this. To me, this is crazy, but maybe I'm just like too in the weeds in this game, but I'm kind of like mind blown that they did this. I also want to do one final apology. Clearly, I was rambling a bit. I don't know if I normally have a particularly strong train of thought. I'd like to think I do, but right now I do not feel like I do, just because I was half asleep. So I hope you appreciate the content and me getting it out as quickly as I possibly could. Thank you for watching. I've been Fastidious. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.